What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review. Um, Before we begin, please remember, if you check the link in the description below, it'll send you over to our Patreon where you can get everything released a full week early. Alright, guys. This was Season 1, Episode 8 of Welcome to Paradox, and the episode is called Hemeac. It was not at all what I thought, by the way. Directed by Paul Ziller, written by E.G. Von Wald and Michael Thoma, released October 5th, 1998. The cast consists of Zachary Ansley as Obsic, Gillian Caffra as machine shop instructor, Kendall Cross as class instructor, Anya Farrell as the dean, Robert Galvin as a soldier, Woody Jeffries as dorm monitor droid, Rebecca Nyard, and Shannon Rowe as Hemeac. This is one of the episodes that just didn't really have a whole lot of oh. I can't wait for the next one. I'm sorry. I fucked up. Not for you guys, for myself. The next episode I'm excited for because I just seen who the cast list was, and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I recognize most of those names, and I do. And it's gonna be a doozy. Anyways, so this one. So yeah, that was the cast. You guys are gonna have like a whole minute and a half of me looking at stuff that's completely quiet and wondering what I was doing, and I do apologize. This was an okay episode. It was definitely interesting. It's not the worst by any means. It's definitely not the best though. To give you a kind of quick rundown, because I don't think this is going to take near as long. The plot of this one or the story in this one is basically there's this school that was started to strip human emotion away from humans because it was the only way to push humanity forward, or at least that's what some people thought. The quote-unquote savages, which were the normal people from the outside, apparently took out the head of the school, and it was replaced by a robot, which the school was already being ran by robots to begin with. And the robots are teaching the kids basically to live life without emotion. They have a stranglehold on the world because the only reason no one can stop them is they have a detonation of a nuclear plant that if the nuclear plant explodes, it will basically kill off the entire world. And they use that as a way to keep people out of their business. So, with that being said, they basically expel one girl because anytime somebody falls or starts to develop enough emotion that they can no longer be controlled, they're kicked out of the school. And that's what happened to her. She seemed to really like Hemeac, and Hemeac is just... he's on that brink, right? He has a little bit of human emotion. He's trying to suppress it because he wants to be thought of as good within the school. But he also talks to this girl and likes this girl. And I don't mean likes as in like emotionally. But he talks to her as a friend through the wall. And you find that out later on, that before she got expelled, they had a little conversation where she's afraid of what's going on in the outside world and confides that in him. So she gets booted out. And then Hemeac starts to go through some things. And starts to show emotion, and they say a lot of really weird things as far as how people use their emotion. If, as a student, you understand what's being told to you, you're supposed to say click. As in, it clicks. It's like click. I understand. It's kind of like their yes sir, no sir. I would guess is what that's supposed to be. Um, oh, sorry, it's getting late. I mentioned a lot of unnecessary motion, things like that. So moving forward, though, he starts to notice things like oil in the hallways and stuff like that, and it eventually gets to the point where he's taken to the deans in the same way that the girl did in the beginning. Now, we didn't see what happened with the girl in the beginning, but when he gets to the deans, the dean is basically half a robot from the waist up, stuck in a table. Now, before this happens, though, I'm sorry, the lady that got booted out eventually sneaks her way back in and sneaks into Hemeac's room and asks him to help shut down the instructor, or the dean, because she has the detonation codes or the abilities to detonate, and she feels that the dean is short circuiting, as well as all the other, which is causing everything to slowly start to fade. And if she short circuits enough and fades enough, it's going to automatically set the detonation to start and kill the world. And he doesn't comply with her, but he doesn't go against her either. He goes on with his day. And honestly, there's some nervousness with him and sensed by the hall monitors, basically. So they send him to the dean. He goes into the dean, talks to the dean, and the dean starts to kind of short circuit and has a weird way of talking and talks in circles. And during all of this, the girl is going through and sneaking around and breaking into the place to try and get in, and she gets to the point where she absolutely needs him. She tells him to go back to class. The dean tells him to finally go back to class as she's trying to figure out what's going on with the intruder, and he gets back to class and is asked in the same manner as she was in the very beginning, where have you been? He's like, I was in the dean undergoing a special examination and I passed. And mid-conversation, as the dean is as the class instructor is about to say something, she shuts down and stops moving. They then, the girl runs in and says, Hemeac, I need your help. In the process of him about to go help her, one of the students tries to step in between them. He knocks him over, and they go off to do what they do. That student steps up and starts the alarm, which is really cool. It's like a two-thumb thing that you have to push at the same time. It's really neat how it's done. At which point he walks over and sits back down with everybody else, and they just sit there. So, in the two, Hemeac and the lady are running to get in the place. All the students stand up, and during all this, you can see soldiers from outside starting to raid up to the building and get up to the building. The dean starts the detonation sequence, and they eventually break into the cell that was lasered off. They go in. At one point, the lady gets shot in the leg with a laser, but Hemeac helps her back up. They get down, and he doesn't know which circuit it is that controls the dean or which one to do to stop everything. The lady says you're going to have to guess, and he picks the right one and shuts the lady down. Shuts the dean down. The two of them kiss. He doesn't really return the kiss. And they walk back out into the hall, and he's like, who are they? And at this point, the soldiers have come in. And she's like, oh, those are the soldiers. You're really gonna, everything's gonna be fine now. You're gonna be able to be a regular human. And she runs up to the soldiers, tells them that everything is completed. And she's like, honestly, without Hemeac's aid, none of this would have happened. And he's like, Hemeac, and they turn, and Hemeac's no longer there. They go back to where the class is, and Hemeac's sitting with the class, and everyone is completely devoid of emotion. Completely. Like, they don't even register to hands being waved in their face. And that's how the episode ends. The narrator does reveal in the end, and I think this is fascinating. While everything was in danger, Hemeac maintained some of his human emotions to help get through that. But as soon as the danger completely subsided, he went back to basically being like a robot. Really neat storytelling. I really, really liked this. So, like I said, it's not the best. It's also not the worst. It's still great. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. This is going to be higher mid of the pack to me, probably. I was not expecting this to go the route that it did, and I have no complaints with it. The acting was really well done. Again, the budget for the show is kind of shit, and you could tell. There's a lot of really questionable green screening and filming, as far as like you'll see somebody like it'll try to do this angle where the students are all standing there and somebody's walking down the thing, but you can tell that they filmed the student standing there, and I think the student standing there with a still, a picture still, and the person walking down was filmed at a different angle, and it looks wonky. The robot outfits are just onesies to cover even the hands, and you can tell, and it's not very good looking, but good episode. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys should watch this show. If you have not seen this show, go to Amazon. If you're signed up to Prime, you don't get the commercials. Go to Freevee. That's where I'm watching it. And yeah, I like it so far. We are over halfway through. We only got 5 episodes left. We've watched 8. So with 5 episodes left, this next one I'm most excited for. Like I said, it has people I absolutely recognize. And yeah, I'm curious as to how many more people we're going to run into. William McNamara is in one of them. That's exciting. I didn't go through and look at all of the different... Oh, somebody that plays Michael Myers is in an episode later. You won't recognize him as Michael, obviously, but yeah. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.